dick, but not everybody actually deserves to have one.
If you didn't hear that, please stop this podcast. Go back again, rewind, re-listen, everything, okay? Because I heard that very loud and clear. Welcome to the Unnamed Podcast. I remain your host, Mrs. TIP. Welcome to the podcast that is for the people and by the people, but we are not politicians, okay? Alright, on today's episode, I promised us that this was going to be the grand finale of life imprisonment and castration, as we've been discussing for like 2 weeks now. And if you've not listened to part 1 and part 2 of that particular topic or this particular topic, please try to do that before joining on this one so that you'll be in sync and follow through. Okay, now I kind of put that response at the beginning because it hits me on different spots when I listen to it, like wow, I was really stunned, and I'm sure you would too. Well, not all of us, I guess. But I'm gonna start off today with response from episode 2.
Good morning. Okay, so I'm here once more, and it was a beautiful podcast. So yeah, I'm coming to, as I said earlier, I was going to comment on a few things. So we'll start with Jeff, right? So Jeff is saying that he doesn't want either of the punishments straight up because they need to assess the level of rape. I don't know if that's how I put it, but something like that. So he mentioned different kind of rape and the fact that they shouldn't get the same punishment. Now, going back to what I earlier said, it's still the same thing. See, once there is no consent, right, it's rape. Once there is no consent, it's rape. Whether it was gang rape or whatever form of rape it was, when there is no consent, it's rape. It's as simple as that, and they should get the punishment that is allotted for that thing, which is life imprisonment. Now, the only rape that he mentioned that could have been looked at life imprisonment is too hard, is statutory rape. But now, the thing with statutory rape is there are two things. First of all, right, it's technically not rape, right? It's rape, but it's technically not rape because there was consent between two parties, right? No one forced one on another. And second of all, in as much as the law might not agree with my statement that it is technically not rape, we should also consider the fact that the age of consent in Nigeria is not 18 years, but anything under 12 years. So, according to Nigerian law, really, if a 13-year-old should have sex with somebody, as far as she gave her consent, it's not rape because by law, she's above the age of consent, which is trash in the first place because age of consent should be nothing less than 18 in my opinion. But I think there's a motion in place to get that up. So all I have to say with Jeffrey is that there is nothing like type of rape here. No matter the type of rape, it doesn't take away the fact that you've taken a life from someone and you deserve to be punished for it. So life imprisonment it is. That's just my issue with his points. Then also, now he said something about drunk sex, drunk rape, blah blah blah. So now the thing with drunk sex or drunk rape or however it's put is that so far you took advantage of the person. You knew the person was drunk and still went ahead to take advantage of the person because the person was under the influence of alcohol. That's still rape and you deserve full punishment. There was no consent. Now, but in a case where both parties, the man and the woman, the boy and the girl, were both drunk, that is not rape because both of them were under an influence that they couldn't control. So no one really took advantage of each other. But in a case where someone takes advantage of someone else, even at the slightest point, that's rape and deserves a full punishment. Now, that's that with Jeffrey's point. Over to Ben. Okay, sorry, before I go over to Ben, right? Jeff also pointed out something like acquaintance rape. That's like if you're married or you're in a relationship, should you be given the same punishment? Definitely, you should. Rape is rape without consent. Whether you've known the person, whether you've been married for 10 years, 20 years, and she says, no, I don't want to I'm not interested. Not now. You hear those kind of things and you still go ahead to impose your superiority in quotes on her. It's still rape. Really. Whether the love is there or not, it's still rape. So yeah, I'm done with Jeffrey. Over to Ben. Man, I don't know where to start from, because in as much as it is opinion, right, I feel we should be realistic in many of these things we say. I'm a realist, by the way, and all the points he gave as to how he would approach punishing rapists, it's not just realistic, especially in a country like Nigeria. So you brand a t-shirt where it says I'm a rapist, and for 3 months, or what time span did he give, you go around from compound to compound doing community service. Now, that's a punishment that should be given to a 16-year-old that stole from a shop. You don't take life away from someone that cannot get his or her life back together, probably, and you give the offender that kind of punishment. It's an absurd punishment, because, now to the rapist, the best thing you can take away from him is a life to enjoy. Give him life, right? But the ability to enjoy, just take away from him. That's the best thing you can do. You know when the saying that goes, the best way to hurt someone is to take something they love. Right now, you cannot go and take their family. You cannot take whatever they love. So the best thing that everybody cherishes, whether you like them or to cherish life, right? Whether you're old or young, you cherish life. Don't take away the life, but just take away the ability to enjoy it. That's that. And also, even if we were to go with his opinion, now, in what country do you really believe in your heart of hearts that Nigeria would be able to handle that kind of a thing? Do you really believe? So if after 3 months I've done the whole thing and I move to another location, okay, I continue my act. It's very simple. He said something about when people record you, post it on social media, blah, blah. It will amaze you to know that more than like 70% of Nigerians are not on social media. So if you carry someone's picture that is not on social media and you post it, right, the person doesn't care, because people won't know him from there. Let me ask you a question. If a random person, you come across a random person's picture on social media, which we always do, how well do you think you'll be able to remember the person if you see the person on the road or face to face in real life, especially if it's after a long time? So let's assume the rapist picture is on social media, right? You're not pasting it on the walls for everybody to see, just social media. So what about people that didn't see him on social media? What about people that don't have access? So it still makes all those people vulnerable. And the people that have seen him, what's the guarantee that they remember his face when they see him in real life? So these things we should just be realistic about. The Nigerian judiciary system is absolute bonkers right now. It's trash for us to implement something like that. Who's going to monitor? It's very, very impossible. Like, it's a 0% chance of success. That is opinion for punishment. You don't do something like that by embarrassing. It's a disgrace. It should be a disgrace on our government for a kind of law to be passed like that. Rape is not something that should be taken very lightly, and it deserves, say, iron hand. Yes, that's been melted in hot fire. Like, stringent punishment is what is needed. I don't really want to. I've said much, but I would have gone into more details. But for now, let me just leave it like that. And yes, somebody said, I don't know if it's Jeffrey or Ben, that the reason why he's not in support of life imprisonment is because the prisons are getting filled up and adding more people. Well, I don't know how I reacted to that, because it doesn't. I don't know, but that's not a good enough excuse, really. They should build more prison. If that's the case, they should just build more prisons. And well, I don't know really. But that's what I have to say for now. And any other thing I think of, I'll get back to you. It was a very nice one listening to the opinions of others. I really enjoyed it and can't wait for the next episode.
Thank you so much, Nathaniel. Thank you for the feedback after listening to episode 2. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. Up next is Lycan, and Lycan really had a very, very, very different approach and different understanding. He kind of broadened it for me, and I'm sure you guys would learn because, not every guy ... Okay, so you're gonna hear the full thing right about now.
She said the great artist. I pray. I'm sure you're talking about rapists here, right? So like what I'm thinking, but see, rapists they don't deserve mercy. Like that thing that is making you do it. Say it's the dick that can't stay one place, right? Cut it off. Yeah, when you don't have it, life will be better, I think. But these people, they are crime oriented. They go to do something else, then they decide to actually rape on top of it because that's how fucked up, that's how messed up they are. So being locked up is even okay. I don't know. But they are rapists and then they are pedophiles. Those ones are the worst. Those ones they are the worst of the worst that actually go attack children. There are prostitutes there. In one course in sociology, we were meant to understand that prostitutes are necessary to the society. There are people who argue that, but then you just have to look at it from this perspective that they reduce crime rates. In a society where these sex workers are not there, crime rates of sexual related crime will increase. But when they are there, you know that for people who don't have the confidence to go talk to a girl or with a girl, or people who have self-confidence issues or have no access to female, they can just go there and ease their attention. But then we have these people around, but some people still prefer to force their way and have their way on people and even children. So maybe they should just cut it off. That's best. They don't need it, or rather they use it to abuse others, to trample on other people. So they don't need it. They don't even deserve it. They don't know how to use it. They abuse it. It's just unfortunate that everybody has it. Everybody has a dick. Every guy has a dick, but not everybody actually deserves to have one. Some people are better off without it. And if you even take it off from them, they will just switch to a different crime. They're already crime oriented, so they should be locked up. Remove it and lock them up. 2 ways, everything is settled. But if I was going to choose one, they definitely don't need locking them up. They'll still release them and they'll perpetrate more crime. Because it's not a life sentence or something. Just at least when you want to bath, you look at it, you remember that foolishness. Yes, you remember that thing will make you lose arm. For real, that thing is very, very annoying. It's very, very annoying. Come on, a lot of people have been victims to this kind of scumbag. It's not fair.
So, while Lycan thinks that it's unfortunate that every guy has, he's also of the opinion that castration is a better punishment than life imprisonment due to the fact that prisons get overcrowded and then at some point governments will have to be forced to reduce, the number of persons in prison. And as we know, during the pandemic, we had that kind of scenario happen in almost all the countries, right? Because the fear of the pandemic and infection and the rate of people getting that virus kind of made government in several states or several countries to actually consider reducing the number of persons in their prisons, their federal prisons and the likes. So, aside this though, I kind of pushed Lycan to speak more on one other point that he made, where he said, he mentioned something about prostitutes being a social need in a community or society. Well, let's listen to that from his own mouth.
Yeah, it was actually I didn't see it that way though until we had this argument one time, like um a prostitute is necessary in society, and it's a question that you have to attack in both ways. You have to check the morality aspect, you have to go through religion, then you decide what is best for people, and then you just realize that okay, if you even interview these girls, some of them will tell you that they're okay with it, they weren't forced into it, and some will even tell you that what are you talking about? They give these things for free, so and they realize they can actually make a living off it. So that, but that's a story for another day. But if you look at it, right, and there was this podcast I heard, like BBC, one time back, and they had to do a survey. They interviewed quite a number of prostitutes, street girls, and um, a lot of them had a lot to say. And then the people who patronize them, people have wives at home, but they decide to patronize those people. Others decide that they don't even want wives, they don't want um, keep women at home, but they decide to patronize them. And some, the nature of their jobs, um, don't even keep them one place. They're in a new city every day, every time. They're either here or here. Talking about people like truck drivers and people who do cross countries, nature of their jobs, sure. So, but then in every society, there are people who are crime oriented. There will always be the bad one, no matter how you try to fix the system, fix things. But then, in a society whereby prostitution is legal, it is, you can check it, the statistics, sexual related crime rates reduce. But when it's illegal, like in Nigeria now, it's illegal, but they still do it because there is no formal bill that has been passed that okay, these people are known as sex workers and their rights should be protected as such and stuff like that. I don't know, Sha, I've not been keeping up with the news like that. So, but last I remember, it wasn't legal. I don't know now. I don't know. So you see, I remember in Lafayette there was this place, brothel close to my house. The police would go there to raid them, right? When they go to raid the place, that's to arrest people who are patronizing them, then arrest, but don't arrest the girls. So they are still there, and if you arrest them, you bring them back, they'll continue their business. You don't have any other business to give them. They'll just go and arrest people patronizing them. Then the police who went to arrest them will stay there and collect their own share. Like apart from the money payment in cash, like okay, you're here at our mercy, you have to still bribe us. But then the police will still get down to business with the girl. So, like people who are trying to chase from the crime actually end up being their patrons too. Although in the case of the police, they are doing it for free, or they are like they are not paying for it. They are just like okay, it's the law. You want to be free, you have to do this. So you see, these are criminals in another aspect too. Because if the girls are doing business, they have to pay for their services. It's messed up. But one thing I know that the argument we had, it just made me understand that okay, prostitution may not be morally right. It may not be the first job to go to. You may not want to associate with one because the nature of the job. You be careful. Just a lot of question marks. But then you just have to accept that these people actually make the society. They contribute a lot to the society in a way that people will not admit. Personally, I don't believe in going to them, but there are people who feel that they should go to them, and there are people who naturally go with that mindset and orientation. That's a different thing. So, and there are certain people that when they are in a certain mood, they don't get it, they resort to violence, they attack people. Certain people like that in society. So having these people present and established, even though the government, check it out now, the government don't want to outlaw them, like take a very strong stand and say let's abolish this, but then it's just as if they are doing nothing about it. They are not actually saying anything about it. They are allowing it to exist passively because they acknowledge their importance, but they don't want to be involved in the execution of the to make it legal, that kind of thing. Sorry, we're talking about rape. I don't go talk about prostitution.
really like, and there was no need for you to apologize. Like, thank you for broadening our thoughts, for making us, widen our own thinking. Because this issue that you raised of prostitution cannot be left out of the society or this topic. Because I even remember one time my husband told me that he had watched a documentary of a UNILAG student who actually had this as his project, where he was going to the streets, talking and interviewing to prostitutes. Some of them actually said amazing things, like sometimes it's not all their customers that just want to sleep with them. They actually have married customers who come to them just so that they could talk to somebody, or somebody they would feel can listen to them. And that's, for me, like, married men coming to these women for advice. I'm like, wow, interesting. Okay, so thank you so much, Lycan. Lycan also actually added something. He added an advice that he feels has guided him through, which a lecturer of his gave him. Lycan is an artist. He draws, he paints, he does amazing stuff with his hand. I'm not about to advertise him, but yeah. Over to you, Lycan.
For real though, there was this drawing class. We used to have drawing class, and you know that as artists, there are times you need to use a life model, and unfortunately the school did not provide it for us and stuff like that. But there was one day our HOD was taking us a class, and it was an open studio, so people pass a lot. I know these social science girls now, they sabi dress past school, they confuse boys' head. So we'll be in the class and we'll see some of our colleagues will be looking out, checking out these girls passing. Then I actually got pissed one day and said that as an artist, you need to learn to control yourself. What will happen if we are actually having a live drawing class here and we have to bring in new models? You won't be able to hold yourself. If you can't control yourself, if you can't see a naked girl and still maintain your composure, then you should not be an artist. And that word sink into my head. He said, practice. If you want to see naked girls, you have girlfriends, go home, tell them to strip, you draw them, you paint them nude. You need it. You need to build your brain, that kind of thing. And I reasoned that thing, and those words were so true. If, as a man, right, if you can't see a girl naked and control yourself, man, there's something wrong with you. Some people lack self-control. They actually have to work on it, or it will land them in trouble. A lot of people have actually done things, and when you ask them, they say it's the devil. Which fucking devil? You just lack discipline, you lack self-control. It's a lot of things, man. People shall.
You heard the man, guys. It's just lack of self-control, okay? And for some people, this same lack of self-control, they've been trying to hide it, but I feel like maybe it's, for rapists, it's beyond that. Like, it's something spiritual, okay? In my own opinion, that is. So please don't try. You see that part where Lycan was talking about live models and all of that. Please, if you are not an artist, or even if you are and you know you cannot carry it, don't try it at home. I beg you. Please don't try it at home. Don't carry your girlfriend and make her strip so that you see if please, I'm begging you guys, don't try that at home. Okay, he's an artist. They get to draw live models sometimes. So just like we see photographers do the same. So please, if it's not your calling, if it's not in your area of concentration, please don't go and try it at home. Thank you. Okay. Up next would be Hani. Hanatu is not of the opinion that castration is the answer. Neither is she of the opinion that life imprisonment is the answer. However, she has another twist to this. So please, let's listen to her.
Okay. What I feel about life imprisonment or castration is neither is okay as a verdict for a rapist. Now, this life imprisonment, maybe that the rapist is homeless and jobless and every less. So the person is waiting for or looking for an opportunity to have where to lay his or her head on. And a prison is a place where they have beds and at least they give them free food, So it's a win, a win-win for the person. And it's not, to me, it should be ruled out safe. The person is still living but has scarred another person for life. No. Life imprisonment is not enough. Castration is not even enough for me. You just tampered with the thingy small. Mm-mm. I think life what death a death sentence will be perfect because that person does not deserve to live. The person is like an animal walking in human form. How would you rape somebody? You're just I don't know. The person is I don't know. At least sex is something that should be consensual. Both of them should enjoy it. But you're hurting somebody, and it's obvious you're hurting somebody, and you still don't care. That means you could do more. The person is a menace to society and should not be allowed to live. Just like what the Bible says, suffer not the witch to live in the land. Suffer not the rapist to live in the land. You shouldn't be living with human beings. You should be gone. I know that it's like it's not good to think of taking one's life, but come on, that person has taken another person's life by scarring that person for life. The person that is raped will never forget such incidents, and it may even tamper with the person psychologically, emotionally, mentally. So it's really not, those two are not it for me. The person should just be killed by injection or by whatever means, but the person should not live. This is my opinion, Sha.
Okay, guys, really. Hanatu had me there. Like she quoted her own. Come on, like who does that? She quoted her own scripture. Suffer not, like Hanatu chapter 1 verse 1. Suffer not a rapist to live. Okay. Oh my god. And she also went on to say that. That there are ways that these guys could actually to death. For her, the option is death. It's better death or none of the two. Okay, so she said there are injections, and actually is a microbiologist, so she said there are injections that actually help that process very slow and painful. That I think she went on to tell me that it will burst all the cells inside the person and the heart and stuffs like that. Okay, that's really very important. Thank you so much for that, and that's I really appreciate. Suffer not a rapist to live. Well, moving on. We're having Elizabeth as well as Bethel as well as Amy, so that I could just round the entire series on life imprisonment and castration. Finally, these are the last three, and I'm going to be adding theirs. Yeah. So up next is Elizabeth.
Okay, I think this time around I'm going to talk. Okay, to the topic, or sorry, to the question involved. Well, one, I think imprisonment is not like the issue, or should not be the final verdict for rapists, because I think if they try to do life imprisonment for them, one way or the other, if a new government comes like in power or something, they might like free them or allow them to go or something like that, because I think it happens in Nigeria. So I feel they should castrate them, so that when they don't see those things in between or in front of them anymore, they will know that okay, something has really like something really happened that made it like this. Life imprisonment is not even the answer, because even if they come out from the prison, they might not still change. So they should castrate them. That one is, I think that is the solution to the problem about this rapist. So I just think so. That's my own opinion, though.
Okay, how about they get castrated and sentenced to life imprisonment? They are rapists and I don't think they deserve a better treatment. So if castration and life imprisonment are both signed into law as the appropriate punishment for a rapist, I don't think any human in their right mind would want to go through the pain of castration and then spending the rest of their life in prison, except of course if that person has a problem beyond the physical. So I feel castration and life imprisonment combined is actually a perfect punishment for rapists. Plus, let us also be mindful that rapists are not just male. A rapist can either be male or female. I'm not disputing the fact that females are more vulnerable, but let's just have that in mind, that a rapist can either be a male or a female. Thank you.
So while Elizabeth thinks castration, Bethel thinks life imprisonment and castration. Oh my god. Like, wow. Okay. And really, she had a point there. If it is passed into law, okay, I mean, some other countries have castration as their law for crimes like that. So if it's passed into law and everybody, I mean, every single Nigerian is aware that if you commit this kind of crime, this is the punishment that awaits you. Tell me, why would they want to rape anymore? Like, except they're going to rape the person and kill the person, and that's like on another level, because somehow, truth would always prevail. Truth must come out. So, I mean, wow. Okay. Moving on though, because I really want to wrap this thing up. Moving on, Imi has this other opinion. Yes, he's not saying castration is good, because according to him, it is inhuman to actually castrate somebody. So let's hear what Imi had to say.
To me, imprisonment is better than castration, because castration is a no-no, I beg. Like, we shouldn't even think about it doing it to our fellow human. Like, it's inhuman. Like, we're not animals. We cannot be castrating human beings anyhow. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. Most people that get involved in rape, most of them are not in their essence of mind. Like, most of them, they are addicted to sex. Most of them, they are trying to prove a point. Most of them spread pressure on one thing or the other. But castration shouldn't be like the punishment or the penalty for rape. Imprisonment is better. Okay, let's look at it from this aspect. The people bringing out this law, what if it's one of their family member that gets involved in rape, or is accused of rape, is convicted for rape unjustly, like he's innocent but they convicted him for rape, they have framed him up, but they said the penalty is castration? Would he or she be happy? No. So I prefer imprisonment. Imprisonment is better. Imprisonment will give you it will teach you a lesson and also give you a second chance to be a better person. Even though castration is, as a punishment, is what the punishment for rape, but we should temper justice with mercy. We shouldn't just do such. I beg. Imprisonment is better.
Thank you so much, Amy, for actually airing your view. And well, with everything said, I love the fact that we all agree on some things, which I am going to be pointing out right now. Number one, we all agree that rape is a crime. We also all agree that it's a sin against humans, and also that it's a very, very bad thing. Number two, we all agree to the fact that a rapist can either be a man or a woman, as well as the fact that a rape victim can either be a male or female. Number three, we all seem to agree to the fact that our judiciary system needs to do better when it comes to handling these kind of cases, amongst other cases as well. I mean, well, let's not even elongate this thing, but we all agree on that, and I'm really very glad that we all do. Lastly, I just want to add that rape is a cruel act and should be given a cruel penalty. And like you all know, this podcast is all about sharing the right information about anything at all, which is why I had a lawyer tell us a bit about the stand of the judiciary in this matter. If you missed that, kindly go back and listen to part 2 of this series, Life Imprisonment or Castration. At this point, I'd like to say a big thank you to all our contributors thus far. You guys are amazing. I mean, thank you guys so much. It was so, what do Yorubas call it? It was so okpo, if I'm correct. It was so much that I was so, it made me so happy. You guys really don't understand this, but thank you guys so much for your contributions and for even being confident enough to like share your views about these things. I'd also like to announce that our podcast will soon be having a dedicated Instagram account, which will be communicated to us soon, as we seem to be getting the attention already. I mean, fam, we got an invite, but I'm not gonna let the cat out of the bag just yet. You guys will hear from me, like, seriously. You know I always share good news with you, so yeah. Remember to rate this podcast, I beg. Like, I'm begging you guys, remember to rate this podcast, like, on your listening platforms, whatever it is, be it iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Outcast, Overcast, whatever casts. Okay, please just try to rate us and give us 5-star. Okay, thank you. You know we are your 5-star podcast. Until I see you again next week with a very fresh and new topic. Know that Corona is still out there, so please stay safe for me. Be good and live right. Love you all.